What unimpressive things are people idiotically proud of? Not eating any vegetables. Known a few people state it as if it's some kind of achievement, giving themselves constipation. Going into work while sick. Had a coworker who bragged on social media about having strep throat, but was still working because she values hard work. We were hairstylists. I avoided her afterwards, but came down with strep less than a week later. Risking the health of other people isn't a bragging right. Edit, strep, not strept. Edit 2. I would also like to add that if you're stuck at a job where you have no choice but to go in even when you're severely ill because your manager is a shithead, I get it. I've been in that situation and it sucks. However, working while you're ill and spreading a bacterial infection is not the wholesome, feel-good moment that my coworker thought it was, and she mocked other stylists when they called in sick. She took it to an extremely toxic level, and all because she wanted to impress a manager who forgot her name not even a month after she quit. Edit 3. Strep throat is a bacterial infection. I called it a virus earlier, my bad. Drinking a lot. I once had a coworker brag about how dark his pee is. Driving better when drunk. I've heard that ridiculous statement more times than I should. I'm an alpha. Sure thing, big guy. You're so alpha you had to get a shirt that said it too? Saying shit like in a land of sheep I am the wolf. Sure thing, dude. Not being able to cook. I keep hearing people bragging about how the only thing they can do is boil water. Edit, I come from a conservative background where people still have gender roles. So women brag they can't cook to show that they are the exception and men brag to establish the traditional patriarchal role. I didn't misunderstand self-deprecating humor / sarcasm / joke for a brag. Nothing surprises me more than when people are proud of their ignorance. When they say that's just how I am, especially when it could hurt themselves or others. Someone once bragged to me. Like thumbs and suspenders level bragging. His new girlfriend's dad owned a used car lot and he got an awesome interest rate on his new, to him, truck. His rate was 24%. I'm fierce, I don't hold back, I tell it how it is. I.e., I have no sense of diplomacy or tact. How little sleep they're getting by on. I worked with a guy who, otherwise very smart, was extremely proud of the fact that he could remove the foil from the neck of a wine bottle without cutting it. He brought it up so many times I lost count. I just let him have it, though, because he seemed to need it. Being bad with computers. People wear it as a badge of honor and I find it so frustrating. Most people know more than they realize. Making even a bit of time to learn how to use them can make a big difference for most people. If heaven exists, what's the first thing you'd do? Ask my childhood friend Kevon for a race. He used to beat me handily when we're younger, 9 to 13, and he'd always brag. When I got older and faster I moved away so I was never able to race him again. We arranged for a race but he was shot multiple times and bound to a wheelchair until he passed a few years ago. I wanna race him both in our prime. Find my husband, give him a huge hug and never let go again. Live our forever together. I fucking love him and miss him so much. Find my son and have a beer with him. Something we never got to do in real life. Embrace my sweet wife and tell her how proud I am of the kids. Try to play Smoke on the Water on my harp. Number rest. Try to find my brother. Man, I miss him. He died in 2020 at age 34. Enjoy my healthy back without pain. Give my mum and dad a big hug. Hopefully, all my pets who died would be my welcoming committee, and I'd hug each one. Find my cats. Find Adam and Eve and check if they have navels. Deleted. What's the Wi-Fi password? Find reception to ask if I can see my stats. Number of steps taken, heartbeats, blinks, the amount of times I've had certain thoughts. Edit, I didn't realize this would blow up. People are talking about a show / episode that aired before I was even born, I didn't even know this thought was already a thing. Also thanks for the awards, I don't really use Reddit so it how I should react to this so I'm sorry if I don't seem excited enough. Would you be in a sexless relationship? What circumstance would you find acceptable for this? I'm over 80. IDC about sex, I just want someone to hug when I'm back after a long day. I'm in one now. My husband had a stroke, no sex is not the big problem for either one of us. I'm dating a man who got diagnosed with prostate cancer a year or so into our relationship. Prostate had to come out and it's a hit or miss whether or not sexual function comes back. In his case, it was a miss. He wanted me to move on because he got very depressed over it. He's so pleasant and a real decent human being, so I stayed with him. Who would abandon someone due to a health crisis? Unfortunately he got bladder cancer next, so this is another hurdle to go over. You play the cards you are dealt. We are together in this. Edit. I'll be one who edits to say I'm blown away from the comments and support from my sweet little Reddit community. Each one of you have made my day so much better. I have a near sexless marriage. The love is strong, but the desire is one-sided. That hurts. A sexless relationship is better than a loveless relationship, as long as I'm loved and we share physical affection like cuddling and kisses and I'm allowed to beat my meat when I need to, I wouldn't care. Just a heads up to all the people who take this personally enough to comment how wrong I am, there's no such thing as a wrong option, my opinion is in regards to myself and myself alone, I'm not answering for anyone else. Different opinions aren't wrong. OP asked a question to be answered from your own point of view, so there's no reason to call anyone else wrong. It's about you, answer for you, I've answered for me. I was gang raped as a student. When I first met my now husband I was in complete denial and we were having a lot of sex. Eventually I had a complete breakdown and our sex life was practically non-existent while I went through therapy etc. I can probably count on my fingers and toes how often we had sex in the 3 years after we married. I felt awful about it. I even went as far as to say he could have sex with other people while I dealt with my issues. As far as I know he didn't do this, and now we're getting back on track. The sex is the best it's ever been and it's a lot more frequent. I'm in one. Not happy about it, but love is still there, so that's nice. I am happily married to my good lady for decades and decades. There are times when it has been sexless for whatever reason, but never has it been loveless. I wouldn't have lasted 2 days in a loveless relationship. We haven't had sex in 5 months due to numerous reasons. Never have alone time with my mom and daughter here. We're both too tired. Our bed we have sex on is where my mom is sleeping. Our waterbed is difficult to use. We always say next weekend and it never happens. We're still going strong though. We love each other and that's what matters. Yes. I would just masturbate a lot. My girlfriend is my best friend. I love her so much. I'll never leave her or stray. If for some reason she couldn't, it wouldn't bother me. But we're slowing down a bit anyway. And we're couch potatoes. We'd just get a giant TV and watch movies and be happy in each other's company. She was in an abusive relationship for years. And I was in an emotionally abusive and sexless marriage for years. I found my kindred spirit. And she's amazing. And I'm happy. I am in one and it's complicated. I don't even care about sex anymore, I just want to love someone and be loved without any conflict/cheating. In my current state, no. But eventually once the libido is gone I could understand it. Asexual people everywhere be like. I see this as an absolute win.